I'm back. No worries, friends. Just in case you were worried about me not being here, I'm back and I'm ready to rumble. And while I was gone, the New York Jets won 3 football games? This is crazy. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Now, I've been performing on this show for about a year and a half and some change, and I've noticed something particularly horrifying. When I'm not here, my teams win. Am I bad for the sports world or my own sports fandom to begin with? I don't know. Could I be jinxing myself? I still don't know. But we're going to recap all the NBA, NFL, NHL games from this weekend and talk about my own existence and why I'm a horrible sports fan after this introduction. Stick with us, friends, because sports starts now. And welcome to the Sports Podcast with me, your host, Nick Drago. For those of you that are new to the show, howdy, hello, and how you doing? That makes sense, right? I don't know. Welcome to Sports with Nick Drago, the only show on YouTube, iCloud, Soundcloud, and I don't even know that provides all the quick and easy sports news and information from the previous week while giving you some insight into the next week and then some laughs, maybe? Maybe not. I don't really know. I said that. For those of you who are new to the show, I said that already. Cool. We can move past it. How was your weekend? Mine was pretty good. We hung out with some friends from my alma mater, the University of Hartford. The Hawks came to Philly, hung out. They ran the 5K race. I ran the race to the bathroom in the morning to pee out all the beer I drank the night before. So that was pretty good. Beyond that, nothing else special. I did forget to mention, though, if you like what you hear today, please find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, or the Facebook. Just type in that sports bar. I could use a sports bar. Type in that search bar, sports with Nick Drago. That's me. Hit that subscribe, like, whatever button you intend to enjoy listening to us to. But we are on all of those sites. You can also email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. All right. Are we ready to talk about football and the New York Football Jets? I swear to God, I can't believe they won 3 straight weeks in a row. Sam Darnold, everybody. He's doing something. Listen, there's not a lot for us, so I'm going to root for whatever I can get. Meanwhile, the Patriots 10-1. That's ridiculous. Beating the Cowboys in a game that, for some reason, I found myself engrossed in. Never has that happened where I've really rooted for either the Patriots or the Cowboys to win. But dang it, I rooted for a good game, and we got an okay one. So I'll take it. But why don't we take a look at some of this weekend's matchups. And let's start off with the Buccaneers and the Falcons, where Matt Ryan totally pooped the bed. Jameis Winston was unbelievable. 3 touchdowns, 313 yards. Ronald Jones Jr., since they got this guy and he's been running hard, he's really showing the Bucs what's what and helping this team out. They won 35-22. Broncos and the Bills. Buffalo gets the win 20-3, absolutely obliterating the Broncos. I guess obliterating is a little over-exaggeration. But 2 TDs for Josh Allen, 185 yards. The Bears beat the Giants. Trubisky in the lineup. He's given some trust, and he scores 2 TDs, giving the Bears the win. 59 yards for Saquon. He was held pretty far back, but 131 yards for Allen Robinson of Chicago. Bears win 19-14. Steel City. Steelers and the Bengals going head-to-head. Steelers getting a win here without Mason Rudolph in the lineup. Now, we all saw the fight last week, right? Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph. Garrett is he's claiming that Rudolph said some kind of racial slur to him, which is what prompted him to the fight. Now, we can't prove that, but I don't know if it is. That's pretty bad for Mason. I mean, he was benched today, but because of the quality of his play, which has been terrible. Horrible play. So well-deserved benching. The Browns, oh boy. Browns get a win over the Dolphins. I know that's not very impressive, but they won 41-24. So now, of course, Baker Mayfield, 327 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Dolphins. He's going to be going out there talking like the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. They do improve to 5-6. Now they're 3-3 at home. Nick Chubb, 106 yards, 1 TD, and Jarvis Landry, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saints just barely beating the Panthers in this one, 34-31. Now, Panthers missed a field goal late in the game. That would have given it to them, or at least tied it up. But doesn't work out in their favor. Saints go on a win. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Panthers would have won. Either way, they choked it. They totally choked. And it wasn't even a tough field goal. It was 28 yards. That stinks for the Panthers. My boys, the Jets, Sam Darnold, 3 TDs as they get on top of the Raiders. Le'Veon Bell, 49 yards, not a great day. Robbie Anderson, who I benched this week for obvious reasons because he's horrible, 86 yards and a touchdown. But good game all around for the Jets. Not a great game for the Raiders, who were looking at being in the playoffs last week. That may change this week. Is this in the way? Should I move this? Is that better? Does that look better? No, that looks horrible. I'm talking about the wire. I'm just going to let it hang. Oh, that looks good. Do we like that, friends? Perfect. All right, moving on. Seahawks and... Oh, we scrolled way too far ahead. Seahawks and Eagles. Not a great game for Russell Wilson. Carson Wentz, I personally think outplayed him, but maybe that's just me. Either way, that team, Wentz, the Eagles, couldn't get it done. Seahawks go away with the win, 17-9. Zach Ertz, 95 yards. Rashad Penny, 129 yards, including the 75, yard run, and the 1 touchdown there for the Hawks. Redskins and the Lions. Skins actually got a win. They're now 2-9 on the season, being the 3-7-1 Lions. 207 yards by Jeff Driscoll for Detroit, taking over Stafford. Bo Scarborough, he's got 89 yards. Rough hands being dealt to the Lions, but that stinks to lose to the Redskins. And that was off an interception, by the way. That they scored a field goal to win the game. Washington did, off of a really bad pick. Titans beat the Jags in this one. Jacksonville held without a touchdown, without a passing touchdown. 2 TDs for Derrick Henry. 159 yards. A.J. Brown had 135 yards and a touchdown as well for Tennessee. They won 42-20. Patriots and Cowboys. Patriots won 13-9. This one came down to the wire, though. At one point the Patriots blocked a nice punt, and that set them up for a really early touchdown. Really, their only touchdown of the game. And that ended up haunting them in the end. Zeke had 86 yards. Edelman had 93 yards. Dak Prescott, 212 and an interception. Woof! Oh, by the way, going back to the Eagles real quick. Carson Wentz is getting had some x-rays on his hands. It's negative, but they're still doing some more tests. I forgot I wanted to mention that. Oh, and Frank Gore, by the way, I forgot to mention this one. He passes Sanders for number 3 all-time on the rushing list. Nice work there. All right, let's finish this out. Packers are playing the 49ers. Niners no longer undefeated, but that game is just rocking and rolling right now. Just started, so no news on that front. And the Texans get a win in this one. They win 20-17. 2017 over the Colts. And why don't we take a look at those standings? All right, here we go. Here they are. And of course, for those of you following at home, you see that we changed up a little bit of our where we're getting our info from this week. So we're going with ESPN this week. I know I'm kind of feeding the empire when I do this, but darn it, everything's so organized on their website. It just makes my life easier. Patriots beat the Patriots are on top of the AFC East at 10-1, followed by the Bills at 8-3. Jets, they're 4-7 now after their win, and the Dolphins are down at 2-9. In the AFC North, You have the Ravens on top at 8-2, followed by the Steelers 6-5. Browns are 5-6, and the Bengals are 0-11. Come on, guys. You gotta get one win. You got to. Texans are on top of the AFC South at 7-4, followed by the Colts at 6-5, Titans 6-5, and the Jaguars are at 4-7. AFC West has the Chiefs. They're winning. They're on top 7-4. Raiders are 6-5, Chargers at 4-7, and the Broncos at 3-8. 3-8 for the Broncos. If the season were to end right now, obviously you'd have the Patriots, Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs going into the playoffs, followed by the Bills at 8-3, and then between the Steelers, the Colts, the Titans, the Raiders, this is not looking so cut and dry right now. I don't actually know who the tiebreaker will be. I'll get that info for you in a moment. But you have 4 teams right now at 6-5. Any one of them could be that tiebreaker for the last wild card slot. All right, let's look at the NFC East. Cowboys are 6-5 on top of the NFC East, followed by the Eagles. They are 5-6. Giants and Redskins are now 2-9. By the way, Jets have a better record than the Giants. It almost never happens, so take that, Giants fans. All right, NFC North, the Packers are on top 8-2. Vikings are 8-3, followed by the Bears at 5-6. They're making somewhat of a comeback. And the Lions are 3-7. They've lost 4 straight. In the South, the Saints are up 9-2. Panthers 5-6. Buccaneers 4-7, and the Falcons are 3-8. And in the NFC West, the 49ers and Seahawks. Seahawks trying to close that gap. Their 49ers are 9-1, Seahawks 9-2. Rams are 6-4, and the Cardinals are 3-7. Your playoff teams right now would be the Cowboys, Packers, Saints, and 49ers, with the Seahawks and Vikings taking those last 2 wild card slots. Now, before we continue, I do have who that tiebreaker team would be, and it would be the Steelers. The Steelers right now at 6-5 are a playoff team. Why? They win the head-to-head matchup with the Colts. They don't play the Titans, but the Colts beat the Titans. So by that order, the Colts would be the Titans and the Steelers would be the Colts. And then the Raiders, the Steelers have a better, what am I thinking of? Better conference record than the Raiders do against the conference, which means the Steelers are right now a wild card team. The Steelers could be in the playoffs. How crazy is that? I mean, normal years it wouldn't be, but this year in particular, with all the bumps, the bruises, losing your 3 best players, the triple Bs gone, somehow the Steelers are still making it in. Well, at the moment, there's still quite a bit of football to go. It's only been like 12 weeks, so you never really know, especially with this logjam now, with four teams vying for 1 wild card slot. The other big news this week is Colin Kaepernick. Nobody signed him. Sorry, Colin. Listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about the political stuff, the blackballing, whatever it is. The problem with Colin Kaepernick is he's not a high caliber quarterback. By the time all of this stuff went down with him and the 49ers, he had already been benched. He wasn't the starter anymore. He was so bad that they were ready to get rid of him regardless of his political leanings. That had nothing to do with that fact. Afterwards, then all the other stuff came out and it just snowballed from there. But at this point, the guy's 31, 32? He's past his prime as a quarterback, and even in his prime, he wasn't he was talented, total athletic quarterback, but he didn't have the same wherewithal as your Tom Brady's, It's a shame, because he could have had a better career somewhere else. But other things got in the way of that. Either way, Colin tried to make a comeback this week, threw for a bunch of different teams, didn't make jack snip, and he might be watching the Super Bowl from his couch yet again. Talking about people watching it from their couch. Antonio Brown still sitting at home. He's been tweeting his heart's content, apologizing now to the Raiders and the Patriots for his actions, and just hoping to glob on somewhere. I mean, he's the type of guy, like, he's talented. A team will probably go after him, like the Browns, or, you know, they don't really care who they sign. Somebody like that I could absolutely see going for Colin Kaepernick. But who knows for sure? Who knows? All right, why don't we take a commercial break? When we return, we still got to talk NBA and NHL, and I have to drown out my sorrows about how cursed I am, and possibly this podcast is. So stick with us, friends, because sports will be back in a jiffy, Jeffy, Jabby, Jew.
Crowd silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run! What a run! Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
Hey everybody, it is Jamie Grum here. I am just trying to introduce you to a new podcast that I will be in with my friend Nick Drago. It is called Big Spoon, Little Spoon, and what we're going to do is just pick a random topic out of a hat, talk about it, see if we can learn anything, and just have a little fun. So if you want to contact us, see us, we are going to be on Facebook, Twitter. You can email us at wehateforks@gmail.com, and you can also find us on all of your favorite podcast apps. Look forward to seeing you.
League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Now it's time to add to your resume. NBA champion. How does that sound?
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
And welcome back to the show. It's time to talk NBA. A lot of games from this weekend. Where do we start, man? The Nets beating the Kings 116-97. Spencer Dinwiddie, 23 points for Brooklyn. He's really showing off his stuff. Pistons going to win over the Hawks 128-103. Double for Andre Drummond. Him and Griffin combined for 47 points. Not too shabby. Wizards going to win over the Hornets 125-116 thanks to Bradley Beal. Huge comeback win for them. Saints get a win over the Bulls 116-108. Jimmy Butler with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Lakers get a win over the Thunder 130-127, 23 points and 14 assists for LeBron Braun. 47ers, the 47ers. 76ers going to win over the Spurs 115-104. Mavs beat the Cavs 143-101. 113-109. Jazz beating those Warriors down. Donovan Mitchell with 30 points. The Nugs get a win over the Celtics 96-92. And the Clippers get a win over the Rockets 122-119. Close call to heavily tough teams. Let's take a look at Saturday now. Spurs getting a win over the Knicks 111-104. Suns get a win over the Timberwolves 198. Bulls beat the Hornets 116-115. 49 points for Zach LaVine, who feels that his coach does not have his back. Oof. Pacers get a win over the Magic 111-106. Domantas Sabonis for Indianapolis, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. 76ers going to win over the Heat, 113-86. They needed that for sure. Nice game for Josh Richardson, 32 points. Raptors get a win over the Hawks, 119-116. Triple-double for Trae Young. Cavaliers with a win over the Trailblazers, 110-104. Lakers beat the Grizzlies, 109-108. Close game. Lakers almost losing to the Grizzlies. Oof. Bucks going to win over the Pistons 104-90, and the Jazz beat the Pels 128-120, and then that leads us into Sunday's games. That's technically today, as I record this. Nets get a win over the Knicks, 103-101 in the Battle for New York. And currently the Nuggets are losing to the Suns, 44-42. Mavs beat the Rockets, 137-123. Kings got a win over the Wizards, 113-106. And Clippers and Pelicans will be playing tonight. And let's look at those standings. The Bucks right now remain on top of the Eastern Conference. Well, not remain. They've pushed themselves here. They've won 7 straight games. They've only lost 3 so far. They're 13-3 right now. Celtics, who have lost their last 2. Kemba Walker, remember, was hurt pretty bad. That was on Friday night. So Celtics are now 11-4. Miami, the Heat, they've lost 1. They're down 11-4. Raptors are 11-4. 76ers 11-5. You have 5 teams right now that are all within 2 wins of first place. This doesn't typically happen in the East. There's usually like 1 or 2 really good teams and the rest of the field, right? You have the Pacers who are 9-6. Brooklyn is 8-8, and the Magic 6-9, and hanging on to that last playoff spot. The Wizards right now are 5-9. Charlotte Hornets are 6-11. Bulls 6-11. Cavs 5-11. Pistons 5-11, and the Hawks 4-12 with my New York Knicks all the way at dead last. We'll get to that and how sad my life is. All right, Western Conference now. The Lakers are on top. They've only lost 2 games so far this season. The Nugs right behind them. Nuggets are 11-5. Mavericks 11-5. I'm sorry. Nugs were 11-3. Mavs 11-5. Clips 11-5. Jazz 11-5. Rockets 11-6. And then you have the Suns at 8-7. Timberwolves at 8-8. So again, the West is not as stacked up as it usually is, where you have a lot of heavy teams fighting. Maybe both sides? Has it evened out? I don't really know. Beyond that, you have the Kings, Pelicans, Spurs, Jigglies, the Jigglies, the Memphis Jigglies. Their mascot would be Jigglethorpe, the Jiggly Bear. Maybe he likes to eat honey, like a certain Pooh Bear we know. Memphis Grizzlies. And then you have Oklahoma City, Portland, and the Golden State Warriors in dead last at 3-14. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Steph will come back. They'll push for the playoffs, but man, that is not looking likely. Let's talk hockey. Only 2 games on Friday. The Penguins beating the Devils 4-1, and the Senators getting a win over the Rangers 4-1. Nothing too crazy happened in either of these games, but they did happen. Now, the Penguins, of course, their injury woes have been bad. They just lost Nick Bujestad. He'll be having surgery by the looks of it. And here we go. Let's pull up Saturday's games here. Looks like the Canucks got a win over the Capitals 2-1 in a shootout. That's a pretty big move, beating up the Caps. Canucks have a winning record, and they're looking pretty good doing it. Holtby with a pretty nice save percentage, 97-0. Flames, another shootout win. They beat the Flyers in that one. Coyotes get one over the Kings, 3-2. Bruins beat the Wild in overtime, 5-4. And looks like the Rangers got a win over the Canadiens, 6-5. Lightning beat the Ducks, 6-2. Good win for the Lightning, because wow, did they need it. Devils beat the Red Wings, 5-1. Hurricanes 4-2, beating the Panthers. Jets are 4-3, beating up on the Blue Jackets. The Maple Leafs 5-3, beating the Avalanche. Predators get a win 4-2 over the Blues. Stars beat the Blackhawks 2-1. Oilers beat the Golden Knights 4-2. And the Sharks get a win over the Islanders, who have still only lost 3 regulation games. This game they lost was in overtime, by the way. So pretty big stuff there. I mean, those Islanders, I don't think anyone expected them to come out and be this good, especially after losing Robin Lehner to the Blackhawks. They've managed to win games and keep winning with guys like Barzell leading the charge. All right, let's look at today, Sunday. Hurricanes and Red Wings are playing right now. Canes have the lead at the moment, 1-0. Oilers and the Coyotes, they're tied at 1 at the half. First quarter, Oh boy. And Sabres are beating up the Panthers 5-2. And look at those standings. Oh my goodness. Apparently my computer does not want to work. This is why I don't use ESPN. All right. Looking at the standings here, the Bruins remain on top of the Atlantic with 35 points, followed by the Panthers at 29, Canadiens 27, Maple Leafs, who have won their last two, pushing their way up at 26. You got the Sabres at 25, Lightning at 24. They've won their last two games. They're 6-4 in their last 10. That's the second best in the Atlantic. The best is right below them, the Ottawa Senators, 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 straight. So Lightning could push themselves back up into that playoff race. So watch out, fans. It's not over yet. Plus, they've only played 20 games. That's a lot less than, basically, that's at least 3 less than everybody else in their division. So you can't count them out. And then the Red Wings, did I say that? They're the only one in the Atlantic with a losing record at 7-15, 17 points. Let's go to the Metro. The Lightning, wow. Capitals are on top, 37 points, followed by the Islanders. They're at 34. Capitals have, meanwhile, they've played 4 more games than the Islanders. They've played a bit. Hurricanes at 29, Penguins at 28, Flyers at 27, the Rangers at 22, Jackets at 22, and then the Devils. And yes, there is a team called the Jackets, the Blue Jackets, I mean. That would be kind of awesome, though. I'm just picturing a team coming out on the field. Their logo is just a jacket, a coat. Columbus Coats. That actually makes a lot more sense. All right. If the playoffs were to begin at this exact moment, you would have 5 teams coming from the Metro and only the 3 from the Atlantic. Bruins, Panthers, Canadiens. You'd have the Flyers in the wild card in the Atlantic, where the Penguins would be the wild card in the Metro, with Caps, Islanders, and Hurricanes all in that first round. All in those, those other slots. Moving on to the West. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Oh, give me 1 second. Blurp, blurp, blurp. All right, that feels better. You don't do that when you hiccup? Just me? Okay. In the Central, the Blues are around top, 33 points, followed by the Stars at 30, Jets at 29, Avalanche at 28, Predators at 23, Blackhawks at 23, and the Wild at 21. Those are points, by the way. Stars are in a 6-game winning streak. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10, and really pushing themselves up there. Woo, baby! Over in the Pacific, the Oilers remain on top with 33 points, followed by the Coyotes? The Coyotes. 30 points themselves. Canucks at 28. Vegas at 26. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10 and falling hard. Sharks at 25, 8-2 in their last 10, and they're on their rise. They were in dead last a few weeks ago. Flames, Ducks, Kings. Man, have they fallen hard. Hard. Flames and Ducks looks like they could have been a playoff team a few weeks ago. Coyotes were a wildcard team. The Pacific has no idea what and where it wants to be, but this is what we have right now. Let's say the playoffs started right now. You have 4 teams in each division: Blues, Stars, Jets, and Avalanche representing the Central, and the Oilers, Coyotes, Canucks, and Knights representing the Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, before I wrap up the show today, I got to talk about the show to begin with. So I noticed something this week. In the 3 weeks I'm not here, the New York Jets won 3 straight games. They're not a winning team, but they're 3-0 in their last 3 games. That's pretty damn impressive. And then I thought about it a little bit, and I realized that I might be cursed. The show is cursed. Maybe my teams are cursed. The Yankees haven't won a World Series, even though they've come pretty darn close. The Penguins' streak of 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups ended just before this show began. And, the Knicks, they're the Knicks. However, let's think about this for a second. Yeah, okay, it's really hard for, anybody's sports teams to win a championship, but it's not just about mine not winning. It's about the teams you hate the most also winning. The Capitals, the Patriots, and the Red Sox have all won their respective championships in that span. That really hurts. And so, I came to that conclusion. Maybe this show's cursed. And so now the thought is, do I just stop the show altogether? No! That's not what you do. You fight through and you uncursify your team. So I ate a whole bunch of garlic today because I'm trying whatever I can. We're going to break this curse, and we're going to break it. None of my teams really have a good chance until the Yankees next year. So we got a whole year of curse breaking to do, and hopefully by the end, one of my 4 teams win a championship. Stick with us as we continue to try breaking this curse for the next year. I've spoken. All right. With that, special thanks as usual to Johanna Drago. She's the content editor, logo designer, and set designer of this podcast. Of course, we got to thank Josh Woodward, wrote the song Golden Sunrise, which is the song you hear on this show. A link to his website can be found in the show notes. Of course, our social media warriors, Mary Kay Albert, Joe Calabro, and others. Thank you for continuing to support the show. Is that it for my special thanks? I think that's it for my special thanks. If you like what you heard today, find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and the Facebook. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. Again, that's me, this guy right here. So type that stuff in. You'll come find me. And once you do, remember to like, comment, share, Twitter at us, and shoot me a good old-fashioned email. Now, I have to perform at the AMAs. So I got to get my butt out of here because me and T-Swift, we're going to rock the house tonight. All right, it's mostly going to be her. I'm going to be that fat guy in the back doing one of these dances. Right? That's in her music video, isn't it? I don't really know. I'm sorry. All right, friends, come back because we're going to be here next week when I'm 400 pounds fatter from Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, and have a delicious evening. And happy Thanksgiving.